Don't tell me what to do.
Okay. I gotta confess something to you guys.
Okay.
All right.
I don't remember how we start this show.
Honestly, same. Theme song. This is the theme song.
This is how it goes.
Honestly, same.
Ooh, honestly, same.
Honestly, same.
Honestly, same.
Honestly,
Honestly,
same.
same. Honestly,
Honestly, same. Honestly, same.
Honestly, same.
Honestly, same.
Honestly, same. We'll talk about it, but if we decide to do a second season, we have to have
Really
big
don't
things, right? So
Okay.
in order to, we started the season with you breaking your knee. So
That's true. There was Leah. She was doing the worm.
So if you could sacrifice a hip for season 2.
There was Lee, and she broke her hip, not her kneecap this time
I'm
around.
starting to sound like if people aren't watching this and they're just listening to it, like, I should start talking like this. And then people are just going to think I'm like the resident grandma.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I'm just actually that clumsy. It's not that I'm that old, even though I am the oldest one out of all of us.
As long as you're not on any ships at sea trying the worm at any point in time, I think you'll be all right.
We won't speak for what you could do in the future, but
That's true. You could take a...
I could go on a cruise, like a Disney cruise, and just get really drunk and forget, my bearings and try again to do the worm.
it could flip your life completely upside down.
Or, big plan for season 2 of this show, honestly, same at sea.
How
about it?
Like the Sweet Life on Deck. That was like their second show,
Yeah.
Yes.
So now it'll be
Honestly, same on deck.
Yes.
Incredible. I love that. Well, hey, what if we did an episode right now, though? Like, until we get to season 2, because, we're obviously going to do one, right?
Oh, yeah. We'll see.
Okay, we'll talk about it.
Let's not get ahead of it. Yeah.
You're right. We'll talk about it at some point. But right now, hey, guys.
Hi,
this is a real episode of Honestly Same. Welcome to a little bonus episode. A mid-season, between season? What would you say this is? Like, it's not really like middle
It's
of
just
a
like
season.
a checkup,
It's-
like a little checkups, because we miss you guys and we hope you miss us and we just missed each other, and we had to get together and just do it because it was starting to feel like it had been a while.
Haven't seen him since that fateful day when we wrapped up season 1 of this show. But I'm so happy that we're back together. And something that we decided to do, since we did miss you guys, was we figure, we'd hop back in. We'd reminisce a little bit about season 1, the things we learned, maybe the things that we did, all the stuff that we went through, and a lot of the fun, like, little comments and connections that you guys left us. And speaking of that, we also figured it would be fun to do a little bit of like a Q&A wrap-up episode here to talk about maybe some things that we did or talked about in season 1, or maybe things in a potential season 2. Or just any fun questions and comments that you guys had for us. And turns out, lucky enough, you guys do like us. We got a handful of questions and comments here to get through.
And we didn't make up
guys.
any of them. No, actually, we didn't. It's
we made up all of them, so...
So we got 3, and then the other 27... I don't know where they came from.
Yeah, so
I'll be honest, I thought we were going to have to make up questions. I'm actually very surprised, and I'm like, in a pleasant way, of course.
Yeah.
I'm baffled by this.
I will be fully transparent. When we talked about doing a Q&A episode, I was like, I love the idea, but I was like, I don't know if people are going to actually give us questions
You
and
did say
comments.
that.
I really didn't.
transparent. Then you were like, we can try.
Yeah, I literally
You're
was like,
it
yes.
probably won't work out.
I will fully take the blame for that one and say that, yeah, I don't know if I believed in it. But look, our wonderful audience, our wonderful fans, our wonderful followers.
It was you guys.
You did this. So before we get to the questions, what do we think about season 1? We haven't really sat and, like, I don't know, talked about how we feel after season 1, or more so how I think it'd be fun to talk about how other people have shared with us that they felt about season 1.
Yes.
Any thoughts, any feelings? What do we think?
I just think, for me, something that's been really beautiful is that it's connected to me to my friends in different ways. Everyone's always like, I feel like I'm responding to you guys in my car. Like, you guys are so open that I feel like I'm having a conversation with you, which is just nice in this, like, realm that we're in right now where everyone's a little bit separate because life is getting crazy.
Yeah.
So it's just been bittersweet to, like, be able to hear from people and them know what's going on with us and then, like, reaching back out to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's created a certain, like, relationship with people.
No, I totally agree.
I've had a lot of people that were like, I want to be on this show.
I've
and
done
I'm
a
like,
lot of
well,
that
we
too,
don't
yeah.
really do that, at least not
Right.
yet. Maybe someday. I don't know.
Who knows?
But I love that people are invested enough in what we're talking about and like our relationship as a whole that they're like, I want to like hang out with you guys. Like I want to be part of it. And that's like a big thing. I was like really taken aback by like, in a good way, by like how many people and how many different people I think that I wasn't really expecting to like get a response from, where it was something where it was like somebody would reach out and be like, oh my gosh, I really like this thing really resonated with me. And I was like, wow, you really watched it? Like,
you listened at all?
Yeah,
like you
like,
even
I
never
didn't
clicked on
even-
anything?
Right. I'm like, I didn't even expect, like there are people that are in my life that I didn't expect them to even be interested remotely in me doing this or us doing this, obviously as a whole, but like obviously
Right.
they're people in my life, so I didn't expect them to be like, yeah, let me like listen to or watch this thing that you're doing, because I don't consider myself to be an important person in their lives maybe, but they're interested enough that they're like, wow, this thing you're doing is cool. And I'm like, it is? Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the fun thing, even from my perspective. Like, I was coming into this like, well, this is podcast number 3 for me. So like, I'm just asking more people to be like, hey, do you want to listen to me talk about more things, but with some other people this time? But genuinely, like, I feel like I've gotten actually the same responses that you guys have, where I feel like these sort of conversations, like the kind of a roundtable discussion type of show, actually, I feel like helped. I hate this verbiage, but like helped serve an audience in a different way compared to the other shows. Which I guess the only one comparable is What You Don't Hear. That's the only like
and
life talk one.
I think that's kind of the point, though. It's
Exactly.
like, you know, you want to reach different people and have different outcomes for those things. So I
Yeah,
feel like it's
and-
nice that like of all the different flavors of podcasting that you do, that you did get a different response and a different sort of like audience for this.
Yeah, definitely. It's fun because this one is definitely, obviously we've talked about like different types of subjects that I haven't really gotten to like totally dive into on again, at least What You Don't Hear, whose life is, we wouldn't be having real conversations on that. But it has like, it's been fun to also get responses from people that I genuinely also didn't think were going to listen to the show. Whether there's somebody who does support me or not, I still was like, this is another thing I'm asking you to go check out. Are you really going to be interested in it? And again, there were people who I was like, oh, you actually checked this out. Or people who like, this was kind of like you were saying, Leah, like this was a flavor for them. Where maybe they were like, I don't want to listen to a 2-hour conversation on What You Don't Hear, and the comedy thing is fun, but I haven't checked it out. This, I feel like, is such a casual type of conversation that it almost, in an easier way, opened the door for more people to check it out, which was fun. And that's at least the response that I got a lot, where people were like, I genuinely got, and I'm sure you guys got the same thing, like so many compliments on this show in season 1.
Yeah.
Like literally so many people were like,
I had no expectation. This
I was gonna
is
say, I was
obviously
like, this is our
Right.
first time
Yeah,
doing
so-
this, so like,
Yeah,
you have
yeah.
something to compare to, sort of. So like, for me, all in general, I'm just like, people like us. You really like us.
right. It was fun to hear people like give specifics as to why. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like, and also them pinpoint, like, you know, again, people have heard me on shows before. So it's like, we've already had those conversations. But so many people have also like told me, they're like, Leah and Brittany have amazing podcast voice. They're like, I love listening to them talk. And I'm like,
thank you.
Nice. Wait till you
and
hear
now I'm going to change my...
when we have our little collab for Whose Life Is It?
Yeah, you know, one
That'll be an
of
interesting
those other
surprise.
shows that I do. It's an improv comedy show, and yes, you're hearing it here first. There's an Honestly Same crossover episode.
Meow, meow, meow.
I will add in horns in post.
You'll love
No,
our
you won't.
voices.
You're gonna
You
forget,
will love
and I'm
it. I will
gonna
absolutely
sound
forget.
silly.
Yes, I will leave the horn noises up to Leah for that. Huh? What did you?
It's fuzzy. It's fuzzy in my ears.
It's fuzzy in your ears.
Maybe you have tinnitus. Is that how you say that?
That's the ringing. I
Tinnitus?
thought.
Tinnitus?
Tinnitus.
How fuzzy?
It's not fuzzy anymore. I guess it is. You don't hear that? It's going. brrrr.
Sometimes I will say sometimes they do that.
Oh, just normal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have your
as long
phone
as
on
it's
Do Not
affecting
Disturb mode?
anything.
Because I had to turn mine on Do Not Disturb mode, because every now and then if you get like any kind of incoming anything, it'll just like send you a weird like
Okay.
Oh,
Let's see.
maybe. But yeah, sometimes the headphones do that. I don't know what it is.
Sorry for.
you'd think we have this down by now, but you know what?
I wanted to make sure. No, I don't hear
you
it at all.
learn
It's all for
something new
nothing.
every day.
Huh. So you're a liar, huh?
I just wanted some attention on me. So anyway, now that it is. No, but I get a lot of like I've had people message me about both of you too. Like I love that it's not just
Aw.
like whoever's supporting me
Yeah.
being like you do X, Y, and Z. They're like, and Leah this and Ross this.
Yeah, no, that is the fun thing, which I like hoped was going to be the case with this show, because it's like, okay, cool. This is, I mean, it's the only show that I do with like two other technically co-hosts who are also like leading the conversations. So I was stoked when people were like, oh yes, I just love, like you were saying earlier, Brittany, like I feel like I'm sitting in the room with you guys having the conversation, hanging out. Like that was the whole design of this show. So yeah, I'm very stoked that like the results that we maybe weren't even really necessarily aiming for, but we're hoping for in season 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds like it landed and people actually enjoyed it. And
I was like, I have that mindset, I think, as a person where I think like plan for the worst and hope for the best. So I'm never like, yeah, this is going to take off and it's going to be great. But yeah, I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah,
Look at us. We're like tooting our own home. We're like, we're so great. We did
hey,
such
that's
a great
what
job.
this is
You guys
for.
love us.
You know what? But I also thought that exact same thing with these questions. I absolutely did the exact same thing where I was like, we can try it. I don't know how many questions we're going to get, but we'll give it a shot. Well, you guys came through.
Thanks
you
for
did.
that,
Yeah,
by the way.
seriously.
Yeah, for real. That's actually
Because
so
we
dope that people
want to know
dropped.
what you want to know.
Yeah.
Yes. And do you want to kind of just dive into it here? I feel like we can
Yeah.
do it how we do the card
Yeah.
games. We can just kind of go
I love
around
it.
the table.
We'll go Leah, you, and then pass.
And then you
Perfect.
can give her your phone
Yeah.
because Brittany's notes
Yes.
app is just
I'm not
like,
allowed to be a part of this group.
Hey, so if someone at Apple listens to this show, if you could do something about Brittany's phone, it will not let her take shared notes. So fix it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Please
Yeah.
and thanks.
So yeah, we've got some questions and comments that we're just going to kind of dive into. I don't know where necessarily the conversation is going to go, but we're going to do our best to answer these questions and or submit to your demands, because there are some demands in here.
I was going to say, actually, if I'm kicking it off, the very first
one is a demand.
It says, honestly, same ball caps. Not a question, but a demand.
Yes.
I love it. And yes, yes, yes.
So I could lie to you and say that yes, absolutely, we will do that. I would like to do that.
I think at some point we would love to get some merch together. I think that we are still like, even like as like a whole, as far as like our marketing and stuff like that. I mean, everything's pink. Everything's like got like this cool kind of flowiness to it. And I love that like we could definitely put our logo on stuff. And I think
Yeah.
we have a lot of really cool ideas for merch. We just like haven't pulled the trigger yet.
Yeah.
At some point, there will be merch.
There will be.
I will say, I will at least promise you that. There will
Yes.
be merch at
I'm
some
not
point.
sure about
What
ball
it
caps
is,
specifically.
Yeah, I don't know how ball caps work, but that would be so dope.
I will say out of so all of these are pretty much anonymous. But I will say
Yes.
I know the person who sent that one because they sent it directly to me.
And
So-
to me. So
and
she
to you?
really
Okay.
wants ball caps.
So if anything, we will promise you at
Yes.
least individually
Yes.
and honestly same ball cap.
Yes.
You can have that. Otherwise, for everybody else, I don't know. You have to wait and see.
When you see her in it and you're like, well, I need that, then we'll consider.
We'll just make
Yeah, yeah.
patches, and we can
Also
iron
that.
it on.
Lovely.
You can iron it onto whatever you want, and then you can have a ball cap.
So maybe, yeah, honestly, same
know?
patches that you could make any sort of apparel. Honestly, same merch that you
I
would
feel
like.
like that way you can just make it your own.
It's your
I
choice.
Love that for all of us because
Yeah.
I think I don't wear ball caps. I don't know if you wear ball caps. You will sometimes.
I will sometimes, yeah.
I wear backwards ball caps, so if I could have the back of it like over the arch, say
that'd be
honestly,
cute.
same,
That'd be
then I
dope.
could. But the front is completely just going to be neglected from me. From
That's
out of
fair.
sight, out of mind.
How about I make hats with all 3 of my shows on them with the logos in different parts. So wherever you wear it, I'm being promoted.
So if you wear your hat
From the
sideways,
front, back, center,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And if anything, that would work for you to wear, Leah, because you've been on all the shows.
Yeah, and
That's
then
true.
I just every time I'm here, I'll wear my cap, and then I can just turn it. I'll have like my sideways, like,
Exactly.
Whatever
like
show you're
90s
on.
rap,
Yes.
like
Yes.
sideways.
Whichever show that you're on, because I keep dragging
Whose
you
life
into
is always sideways.
everything. Yes. Incredible.
Oh no.
Okay. Next question. It is my turn. Favorite restaurant and why?
So are we? I guess you go first.
Yeah, you go around and then we'll pass. And
Man, I don't know. I mean, it's like, can I say anything else other than Chipotle?
if you did, I would just be like, no, it's
I'd
not.
be
Yeah,
like,
I know.
I'd
You'd be
call you a liar
Yeah,
for
I would be
sure.
called out as a liar. It's Chipotle, folks. I love Chipotle. Yeah, that's my answer.
Mine is Villanova. in Columbus. It's a little like family-owned Italian restaurant.
See, this is why I didn't want to say Chipotle, because everyone else is going to give some like, so, you know,
It's so good.
I met this old starving Italian family who was just trying to start up their own restaurant.
What, I do tell you this story before?
They had no money, and I was their first customer, and now just I know that I kept them alive, and now
Is that not why Chipotle is? You've definitely kept them in business
I
since you were
absolutely
like.
have, yeah.
That's true.
70.
Yeah, so I also have a heartfelt description. I'm sorry. I
We've also all been to the Chipotle by your house together, and
Yeah.
I think they thought we were all related or dating. I can't remember.
one
it
of
was
the
a combination
two.
of
What did
yeah.
they say? They did say something.
It was
where they
something
were
where
like,
we were like, "That's weird and incesty," but okay.
Yeah, we got like a sister and a throuple. Like,
Yeah, they
all
definitely-
the
hybrid.
same visit. The
Yes.
same visit.
Yeah, everyone was wondering what was
Not
going
kink
on.
shaming, but you know, it's just not for us.
no, we were just there getting our
Incest,
Chipotle.
not for us. You
My
can quote us for that one,
I
folks.
will yuck your yum if your yum is incest. I'm sorry.
yeah, I agree. I agree. My favorite restaurant.
Right, that's what we're talking about.
Speaking of yum, I love Kitchen Social. I feel like it's just become a staple. I used to work around the corner from it, and it's just like always good. Everything on their brunch menu is amazing. I've had every single item. Now that I'm a vegetarian, I love that there are still awesome vegetarian options. And there are a lot of places that are starting to do more of that, but Kitchen Social, like, shout out. You guys are doing it right.
I can back that. Brittany, I sort of interrupted your why when you were
my
answering your why.
My why, that's just where Zach and I go for all of our anniversaries and like birthday if we can get
Aw.
there. It's I won't say it's cheap, like it's well priced, but then you get so much food, and it's never missed. It's never missed.
That's
it's so
awesome.
good. And it's just really cozy in there. And then the other side of it is a bar that's connected. It's almost like a speakeasy though. It's really dark.
Ooh.
That's fun.
They have like the popcorn machine. It's just
See,
super
I
cute.
love that.
Yeah.
See, like Chipotle can be kind of hit or miss depending on which one you go to.
It
Yes.
can. I guess that I didn't even explain. Like, it's a joke that I love Chipotle so much, but my genuine why is that it's one of few fast foods, like quote unquote fast foods, that I can go eat that don't make me sick. So out
Yeah.
of it,
Yeah.
it started out of like, oh, I enjoy this food. Then it was like, okay, this is also a convenient food. And of course I like it, but also like there's not a lot of things. Maybe I have an undiagnosed illness, but there's not a ton of stuff that I can eat without feeling relatively sick afterwards. And Chipotle has my back, so
Who
that's why I
needs
go.
to go
Which
to
is
the
wild,
doctor?
like because that's
mean,
not,
not a-
the case for most people.
Not a freelance person like me. I can't go to a doctor.
Yep. Nope. No health insurance.
So remember
love
to like,
America.
subscribe, and rate and review this show. So maybe one day I can get some health insurance. What were you saying about food? Oh, Chipotle fucks people up is what you're
Yeah,
saying.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Not me, apparently. Or
Well,
it is, and that's why I
just
can't
a
eat
special
anything
kind
else.
of breed.
Who knows?
All right, it just makes it disappear. Okay. The question here is worst breakup / situation and how did you handle it? And of course I have to do it first.
We did sort of talk about this in season
We
1's
did.
finale episode,
So
all about
why
breakups.
don't we talk about a different one? Like, because I feel like we've talked about the
Okay,
worst
great.
one, so maybe just another bad one. You know,
Why don't you just talk about some other trauma in your life? I would say probably there was a breakup where we weren't really dating, and those breakups really suck
Yeah.
because you don't know how serious you're allowed to feel about it because you were like,
absolutely.
there was no like tangible black and white status on it. So then you have selective people that you can like cry to about it
Yeah.
because only selective people like respect what was going on and really understand like the heaviness of the relationship. So what did I do about it? I went back to the person I was with before then and didn't process it at all until I was older.
Until I started a podcast.
And I'm sitting right here right now about to cry. No. Yeah, just those breakups where it's like a situationship. Sometimes those don't
Okay.
feel very good.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Are we going this
You
way
go.
still?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we're
I
just gonna
apparently am
continue.
not like good with clockwise or something. I
Not
don't
good with
know.
clocks over here.
Yeah. Who needs them? Really. I am late to everything.
Really
Suspect.
fuzzy. Okay, and then it stops. Put your phone on Do Not Disturb.
Yeah, Ross. It's probably your fault.
It is you. You're the problem. No, it's still doing it. I don't know. Go ahead.
Yeah, it might just be the headphones.
That's okay.
Is it terrible?
Maybe it's this cord.
It's
It's terrible
probably
for me for a moment, and then when I start to complain about it, it's like it's not that bad. It's just gonna like disappear while
I
I'm
have
talking.
definitely heard what you're talking about.
Okay,
Like I
but it's
literally know what you're
fine.
talking about. It should be fine. Yes. Unless it like literally
As
interrupts
long as
everything.
it's not going to mess that up, I will ignore it.
It should just be the headphones. Yeah.
Okay.
I hear nothing.
Okay.
Yeah. Because if it was like
Fanta.
your
Going
XLR,
through there, you would hear
cable
it.
or something, we'd hear it. Yeah.
Okay.
Back to the yeah. So okay, Leah.
So worst
breakup.
breakup slash situation, and how did you handle it? I feel like again we have kind of brushed on this a little bit. I had a similar thing where it was more of a situationship, and it ended badly because this person was dating both of us, and then I found out and told the other girl, and she stayed with him. I handled it by not having an option. But I would say, like, because I've told that story before, it's probably not as fun to explain it that way. So I will say, in a more in a more lighthearted breakup situation, I guess, I was dating somebody for a couple of years who one time gave me a lamp for my birthday that I did not ask for or indicated that I needed. And when we broke up, I was very petty, and I left the lamp at the apartment where we lived together, and I specifically got a text that said,
Damn.
"You left your lamp."
Oh
I
my
knew that was going to
God.
be the text. You left your lamp.
I was trying really hard to not laugh about the lamp because I didn't know where that story was going. So I
Yes.
was holding in my laughs about the lamp.
Yes. So the lamp was like a very last minute birthday gift. I felt like that was just not
Was
like
it just like, was it specific in any way
No.
or just like a literal lamp?
just a literal lamp. And the kicker, so he got me this lamp for my birthday, went out to Walmart like that day and bought it, and he didn't wrap it. He put a pillowcase over the box, and I got home and he was like, "Surprise." And I was like, "What
He
is
took it. I'm like,
this?" And I was like, "Thanks." And I'm like, I know it's not about gifts, you know, birthdays aren't about gifts and things like that, but I was so thrown off by the whole thing.
that
I
other
was
girl
like,
must have made a lamp comment and he really thought he won.
"Oh my gosh." Well, this was it was not the same person.
Oh, that's right.
But I
What
don't
do you know?
Who could
Who
ever
do you-
say?
who could say, you know, like maybe in his brain he was like, "She needs a lamp. We need a lamp." It sat on his side of the room. And yeah, so that was like how I was petty in a breakup once, is that like in a more lighthearted
That's
sense.
so nice. That's like the nicest thing anyone could
I
do.
literally was like, you know what? This breakup is happening and I feel crappy and I'm leaving this lamp because it
your
was a symbol
stupid
of
fucking lamp.
It was a symbol of all the not caring and zero effort that had like happened up at the end there. It wasn't always like that, but like that was the nail in the coffin, was this lamp, I think.
Yeah, that's a
And,
very specific gift. It sounds like he just wanted a lamp.
I think he just wanted a lamp.
Yeah.
Well, then
For
he
my
got what
birthday.
he
Yeah.
wanted.
Yeah, he got the lamp and the whole room.
He got the whole
the
place to
rest
himself. He could decorate
Except
with
for
that
our
lamp
other two roommates.
however
but,
he wants. Oh, well, whatever.
But it was in his room. He got to keep the lamp. If you still have the lamp,
Hope it's lighting up your world.
Right.
yeah,
Because
I hope
Leah
it's the light of
stopped.
your life.
Leah left you in the dark. Hopefully you at least had it to guide you
Oh
along
my
the way.
gosh.
Absolutely incredible.
How about you, Ross? Let's talk about
Yeah, let's talk about breakups some more.
Love it. Ross will never miss a chance to talk about this.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, why not? Let's just make a whole podcast about it, huh? Oh, how do I answer this one? Do I have a fun story that would be more fun to tell? Because I mean,
Yeah, this is a different type of episode. This
we've
can
told
just-
we've told the like deep
like, the
dive
worst
things.
ones.
Yeah,
so
I
talk
don't.
about maybe like something that like maybe like you handled it differently, or there was a way that you handled.
I also
a
like that it
breakup
says like
was-
worst situation, like maybe like
Yeah.
a
Yeah,
bad like fight in a
worst
relationship.
breakup situation. How did you
Well, it
handle
could be a
it?
situation. Yeah, it doesn't have to be a.
This is our podcast, in case you didn't know.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
gonna
like
interpret
you
your
guys
question how we want.
I don't know why we're fighting to get like run this around for you.
All I do is like, how should I answer this? And you guys are both like, well, you could talk about that. Well, you could also say it this way, and you could also, I don't know, you could say it this way. Like, what? How about this to keep the answer as short as possible?
No, don't do that.
Yeah, that's not what we wanted.
I will say, yeah, but that answer kind of brings it down.
That's okay. We have another question right after this.
My real answer, worst breakups or situations, how am I handling it? I would say maybe I'll give an example of what breakups have been making me feel like, maybe,
Okay.
and what I'm doing. Basically, what they've been making me feel like is that, this is going to get so fucking bummer.
I
We
know
can't
where
do
this
this at
is
the beginning of the
going.
episode, do you?
Yes, I do.
You probably do.
We are friends outside of this.
What? We talked about this already too as well. I think something that I am battling with is actually something that I was already talking about in season 1, is that I feel like I keep getting this weird, not proof, but I'm being made to feel like this version of me that I am so happy about and so excited to share life with somebody with is not being accepted. And it kind of makes me feel, this is so fucking bummer. I'm so sorry, you guys. It kind of makes me feel pretty unwanted, to be honest.
Okay.
That's sort of what it leaves me is I'm like, I get these like good situations where I'm like, and we talked about this in season 1, where I'm like, whoa, I'm like ready to go. Let's figure this out. Let's make it work. Like whatever we got to do. And then it just, it doesn't work out. And then I'm like, oh damn, what's wrong? Like, even though I know this isn't the case, it makes me question what is wrong with me.
Right.
Why am I so willing? Why am I so ready to work through it? Why am I so ready for all these things? And then, it creates some of those battles. So it's like, for me, I'm trying to break down, I'm identifying a difference between what I know and what I feel. Because what I know is like, hey, I'm confident, things will work out, it's okay, like, there's going to be somebody at some point, like, it's fine. I know that, like, me being me isn't a big problem. But how I'm made to feel is the exact opposite of that, is that there's something wrong with me. I'm either not good enough, or I'm too much, or I'm, whatever. So that's my real answer.
Well, best case scenario is that there's like one person out there for everybody. And it takes a long time to find that one person because there are a lot of people out there. You know what I mean?
Sometimes it might take 10 seasons of a podcast talking about breakups to maybe narrow it down. So we'll see.
Hey.
Yeah, we'll see. We got a couple more seasons to go. And then we got
stop trying to force us into a second season?
Okay, I just think it'd be fun. We'll talk about it after the
Yeah, let's wrap this up and then
and then
see how
we'll
we're
think
feeling.
about us.
Yeah.
Damn, you guys want to break up with me too?
All right, why cosmetology? This one's for me, but I think also you are
I can
in
say why and then
cosmetology.
why not.
Yes, absolutely. So why cosmetology? I'll be honest, from a pretty young age, I would say maybe like 16, I was like messing with my own hair a lot, and I was really, I don't know, like into that and into the creative aspect of it. And I don't know, I feel like it just kind of came to me naturally. And so when I had finished with the like music side of my life and I needed like another creative place to go and like lay down my burdens sort of a thing, because it is a creative outlet in a lot of ways, hair was always sort of a backup plan that was in the back of my mind. So I think that when I was in actual like a university setting, I remember calling my parents, crying a couple times, going, I just want to go to hair school. And at the time, it just like did not fit in with my life. And so when I finally found a time and place that it did fit in with my life, I was happily like ready and like willing to make that like my path.
Yeah, and you're so good at it.
Thanks.
That's true. That's facts.
I don't actually have to answer this question. It doesn't actually pertain to me.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Well, that was Leah's answer.
That's my
for
answer.
Person who asked.
Hopefully that's
why cosmetology.
fulfilling enough of an answer. I feel like it's...
Our next question that I've got for us here: what's your guilty pleasure?
That could mean a lot of different things.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What your like actual guilty pleasure is versus something you just like a lot.
Yeah, just something like I enjoy that maybe someone like. What is it? I guess what? How do we define a guilty pleasure? Like,
I'm 30. I don't feel guilty about much anymore.
kinda
that's
where
kind of where I'm
at.
at too.
Yeah.
Is like I'm like I don't really. There's not something that I'm like. Oh, I hope no one knows.
Yeah.
You know
like
what
I
I
think
mean?
that like in like 10 years ago you'd been like it's wrestling.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You know what I
yes.
mean?
10 years ago I'd have been like, yeah, no, I still like pro wrestling, and people like don't know why. But now I'm like, no, yeah, fucking wrestling's cool. And most people who are adults are also like, actually, yeah. I don't watch it, but like it's fucking fun. Like, yeah, I don't know if I have it. Like at one point in time, probably would have been like video games too, but I don't really play those. And even when I do, I'm like, this is a nice, relaxing thing I'm doing. I don't have to feel guilty for this. Like,
I feel like, okay, maybe a good one for me is like, so when I'm doing well mentally, music just does not hit me very like hard.
You were talking about this the other day.
Yes. So
Yeah.
when I'm like in my feelings, I will almost purposely listen to stuff that makes me go even deeper into those feelings so that I can fully just like
Oh, yeah.
enjoy like that Sarah McLachlan song from Toy Story 2.
No.
hilarious.
No.
That was so
No.
specific and correct.
And oh no. We cannot nope.
So that's my guilt. I guess that would be my guilty pleasure is like, I know I'm making myself probably feel worse, but like, I want to feel those feelings very deeply. And music is something that's so like deeply like rooted in me that like, if I can feel it deeply, I want to feel it deeply.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, sometimes I'll make myself feel worse on purpose, I guess.
Yeah, there's sometimes I'll do that too. But like almost in a way where I'm like, I just want to feel these like I want
Yeah.
to feel these emotions. Not like I
Yeah.
need to feel worse, but like a good cry right now feels like it's needed,
Yeah.
and I would like to. But yeah, I don't know. I truly I don't know if I can think of an actual other guilty pleasure really.
Okay.
But
don't-
I think that wrestling, like,
would have been
Yeah.
the like yeah.
but
yeah.
it's nice. We've just come to a different like
This
not-
stage
a
of
point,
adulthood.
and yeah, where you're just like, I just like all the things that I like.
Yeah.
But I will say for mine, I was everyone like knew that I loved Taylor Swift's songs, but I was a very closeted Swiftie as in how much I know about her and that I know
Okay.
her whole discography. Like it's up here, and that's so scary because I don't know anything. But I can literally tell you the lyrics of 200 songs.
Love it.
So I would say that previously was my guilty pleasure,
Yeah.
but now I have no problem saying that.
For
Yeah,
sure.
that
I
makes
saw a meme recently. I don't know if I would call it a meme. I saw something on the internet recently, and it said, like, when you hit a certain age of adulthood, it's just you going back to the things you liked when you were 13 and not feeling bad about it or feeling guilty about it or like it's wrong. And I
Yeah.
feel like that's so true because as like a 30-year-old, I'm like, I don't really care if anybody judges me for like wanting to like, yeah, like play this video game that's literally like Animal Crossing but with Disney characters. Dreamlight Valley, check it out. It's freaking amazing. But like I think like even putting like I have extensions that have like coontails in them, like just like revisiting parts of like who you used to be, but you felt ashamed at some point in your life looking back and going, ooh, why did I do that?
One day we wake up and we're like, oh, we're adults, we can't like these things anymore, which is just not true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
absolutely.
So if anything from that question, that's the life lesson that we
Yeah.
could share with everybody is
Yeah.
it honestly doesn't really matter. It
Like
doesn't
your
really matter.
like your pleasures as long as they're safe out
Yeah.
loud.
Yes.
Do whatever you want.
They are not guilty. Okay. Fave Pokemon and why? Vulpix or Eevee because they're cute as shit.
I was gonna go Eevee.
I was gonna say Eevee too. Look at us, guys.
Yeah, I
I
feel
mean, it's just
There's so many evolutions from Eevee that are really freaking awesome. So I
Yes.
feel like it's the perfect Pokemon because no matter what direction you want to go with your Eevee, like
And like if I'm gonna
I do love
have
that.
a Pokemon, like an Eevee,
it's adorable.
it's so fucking cute. I'm gonna be like,
Literally
look at this,
fucking
everybody.
adorable. Yes. Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
And then part of me is also like Togepi because in like the actual Pokemon show where he would just like live in Misty's backpack
That's
and
pretty
just was
adorable.
like cute. I'm like, I love like my little dog is like my lap dog and I would put him in a bag and carry him everywhere. So I feel like in a way, like I love those like not lap dogs, but like those creatures that are like, yes, let me just like cuddle you. And I'm like, yes, this
Yeah.
is everything I want.
Yeah.
I love
Wow. Look at us. Look at us. That's why we're doing a podcast together.
Because we
We're
all
so
like
alike.
Eevee.
Because we all like Eevee.
Yeah.
All
We
right,
found that
Leah,
out one day.
You're up.
All right, most embarrassing hairstyle you've rocked. And I feel like this is also like going back to me saying like at some point in time I will look back and be like, "Oh, that was like what I did at that moment."
Yeah.
Let's see.
Oh, I know mine.
I feel like at some point I've had a lot of hairstyles, you guys. I feel like at some point I probably was like doing some color in high school and ended up making it the wrong color or like messing it up somehow. And then, so it was probably an accident. I don't know if I would call that like a hairstyle that I did on purpose that now I regret, but like I definitely messed up my hair enough times that like I had regrettable moments.
Yeah.
That's fair. Mine 100% is straightening my hair as a scene kid in high school.
But you just were
Photo
you're
right
fitting
here.
right in though. Yeah.
Photo.
He's going to edit a photo
Here.
into right here.
I think they're also on our social somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think back to that because now I'm like, that I've learned to like, oh wait, curls
like-
is something
yeah.
that everybody wishes they had.
Yeah, I like really though. They're like just one day I want to like blow his hair out, like give him like an actual blowout.
I'm willing to do like whatever you want to do for fun. We can absolutely do it and put it up on our Patreon, and you can
There we
see
go.
that exclusive footage of that happening. Yeah, mine has to be the scene hair. I rocked the scene mullet and it was straight, and I just don't. Clearly, obviously, I was like, oh, I gotta fit in. I gotta be a cool scene kid. But I'm also like, dude, just rock your hair how it
Yep.
is. Like, who gives a like?
I
whatever.
feel like with us talking about season 1 so heavily right now and the Patreon coming up, it's important to note that, and we've gotten some questions. There is no actual Patreon,
Yet.
you guys.
Yeah, not to spoil some questions that are down this list, but there's one about a Patreon,
Oh,
and so
These questions are all
doesn't
surprise
exist.
to me.
Yeah, I'm not looking. I haven't looked through them yet. I think Ross is the only one because he.
I
Typed
gathered
this,
them,
He
yes.
typed this list.
Yes,
so
I put
it's
the list together,
A nice
so
little
I've-
surprise for
I've,
us.
I've seen a few of them. Yeah, my scene hair. Brittany.
Right. Brittany.
Mine similar to Leah, where I did cosmetology school in high school, so I was just ruining my hair, and I remember in high school was when ombres came out. Like I was a senior, and we didn't actually know how to do them. Like we just saw everyone with them.
Yes.
And one of my friends tried to give me an ombre, and it was
What color
wasn't.
was it? Was it
it
blonde?
was so my hair was blonde originally, and then she tried to do brown, essentially like a shadow root is what she should have been trying to do.
no.
But it was all really hard lines. So then I went home and bleached my hair.
And it
'cause
turned orange.
And then I cut my hair at home because I was just so stressed with everything. And I looked like a ginger Justin Bieber. And I remember, I don't have this picture anymore, but I remember taking a picture and my hair looked like 2009 Justin Bieber.
Oh my gosh.
Like exactly like that.
Incredible.
And I don't think a single picture was taken of me for like a year because there's nothing in that time span.
Insert artist rendering here.
There was actually a time,
A
like
sketch.
2 years ago, I had a pixie mullet, and I was coming out of having blue hair. And when you have blue hair and then you bleach it, or even if it just fades out, it turns to like the ugliest seafoam green you've ever seen. And so, color correcting, I went in and I was like, I'll just put some copper in my hair as like a demi-permanent, and then it'll eventually fade out to being a nice color. And I remember going to my work had like a like Christmas party dinner thing, which wasn't until probably January because in the hair
Perfect.
industry you don't get to have holidays. And I remember being like, you guys, I look like Julie Andrews in The Sound of Music because it had faded out to the like ugliest like strawberry blonde, and same thing where it was very much just like a Justin Bieber
Yeah.
like moment. I am such a big fan of wigs because of transitional hair colors now.
That's
I'm
so
like,
true.
it's so important for me to have that as an option. So you just reminded, you unlocked that for me.
I'm
I
sorry.
think I locked it up in my brain, and it wasn't even that long ago.
My turn, right? I
Yeah,
got the next
I
question.
think so.
What is the hardest thing about making the podcast?
I feel like that's probably, well, I guess
Probably
we
all
can
the
all
stuff that
answer,
Ross
but
does.
it's, yeah, mainly the stuff that you do because I just show up and open my mouth.
Oh, you okay? I was gonna say making sure like if there was an actual like difficult part, it's probably just like aligning schedules, right?
That is,
And like yes, there's a lot of
I
back
didn't
end
think
stuff
about
like
that.
for sure. Yes, editing them and all that sort
I
of stuff.
think a
but
big part of it too is like being able to tell our stories without having like, without like outing anybody in our lives or making it like
telling a story vulnerably without giving all
making-
the details.
without
Yeah.
making
Like,
it vulnerable for other people involved. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah.
Like
I-
obviously if you were involved and you listen to the story, you're gonna be like, oh my god, that's me. But like we're trying really hard to like make it so that it stays anonymous for the people involved. And I think that
Yes.
sometimes like we'll get questions like if we're playing a card game or something where it's specific questions about things that happened in our lives and you almost need to elaborate sometimes, where we'll literally like just skip that card or skip that subject because we're like, I can't expose people that are not like here to defend themselves or you
I
know.
often want to tell stories that I just know would get me in so much heat to tell on this podcast. Like often, because once it's
And you
out
want
there, it's out there.
to.
Yeah, I want to. I mean,
We want to be as vulnerable as possible, but there's a line. And
Yeah.
I think that's a big
Yeah.
like hard thing for us is being vulnerable like on our end and giving you guys as much of us as we possibly can without also giving you too much of other people that don't have a say in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it. All right.
So
B,
true.
You're up. I saw what the next question was.
Y'all ever kissed? For me, my answer is no.
No.
We have not.
None of us have ever
Sorry
had
to
a
let
romantic
sorry to let you
relationship.
down,
We're
viewer.
more we're more of the brother sister thing. If you remember the Chipotle story.
Sister.
Yeah. Yeah, you remember the
And
Chipotle story?
And bros.
Sorry to let you down, viewer. We
Yeah.
have not kissed.
It's true. It's true. When is season 2? You know, this is did you put this
What
in
a difficult.
here, Ross?
See, we
Guys.
said we didn't make up any questions, but I am a little bit.
But I know you both have been busy. You're both kind of trailing off doing your other things. I know, Brittany, you've got a couple potential movie roles coming up.
Yeah.
Leah, you won't exactly disclose what you've been doing, but it seems pretty interesting. Seems like you're making a lot of money. I did not put this one in here, but I mean, we owe it to that viewer. I mean, it's season 2. It sounds pretty good, right? I personally would. I mean, I got a lot going on, but I would like to do a season
This
2.
next one says.
Okay, well, season 2, you guys. Potentially.
We had some fun with season 1. We just do have big summers happening for us.
gosh,
Hopefully
yeah.
we'll be able to let you guys kind of in on what that looks like, and then we'll decide from there what we think.
But I guess if anything, if you want to know when season 2 happens, make sure to follow us
Mm-hmm.
at Honestly Same Pod and hit that subscribe and follow button wherever you're listening to this at, because then
So
you'll know.
that way, if there are future things that happen here, you will get
And they pop
alerted.
up,
Yes.
you'll know when they pop up. Okay. It's probably fair that I got this question because this seems like it was directed at me, maybe.
Wow, that's
I don't
very
know.
forward of you.
I don't. Well, we said that earlier. We were like, oh, this is probably like a Ross thing.
Hopefully. Hopefully.
Well, yeah. Also, who knows? I guess who
I'm
really
hoping
knows?
for you that this question
Because
is
again,
for you.
reminder: a lot of people. These most of these were dropped anonymously,
Yeah.
so we do not know.
That's very true.
I've had a crush on you for years, and you still don't know. LMAO.
That's to
Lamau.
me. Why do you think that's to you?
That's
I
why
do-
I
I
was
don't
like, that's very bold.
He's
of
like,
you.
I assume.
yeah.
I don't think someone's gonna be bold enough to like. I
Yeah,
mean,
no,
I
I
guess
agree.
anonymously they could hit on
Anonymously?
a married person. I guess
But
they could.
I also want to know, what did they think? Did this come through your thing anonymously, or did this come through Honestly Same anonymously? And
That's
they're
the only-
really into.
That is the hard part that I guess I don't know.
You don't know.
Yeah.
No, I would
But
assume that
I-
was directed toward you.
I assumed that our listeners wouldn't be like, how can I end one of their marriages? Or just
Anonymously.
have fun and flirt. So I guess if so we'll each do it as if they're talking to us. Hey, person, thanks for that. It's been years. Hopefully we're close. Maybe we don't know each other at all. But I guess thanks for being into me, I suppose.
And
Brittany,
thanks
does-
for being into me too.
Leave
Leah?
me alone. No, I feel like if I found out somebody had a crush on me for literal years, I would be honored. I feel like that's like, I don't know. That's a
Yeah,
high
We've
that's fair.
bar for
obviously
people
been
to be like,
respectful about it, if that's the
Exactly.
case.
Right.
Thank you for being anonymous.
I love this
Unless
question.
you're talking to Ross, because let him know.
Yeah.
Yeah, just let me know.
slide into the actual DM.
Just tell me. It's not a big deal.
Because I feel like I brought this up every 5 minutes. So where's the Patreon?
It's a good question for you to be the one that
It's
gets.
good that you
Yes.
ended up-
So where is the Patreon, Brittany?
I don't know, Ross. You do the logistics. Where's the Patreon?
Leah, where is the
Leah?
Patreon?
There's a website called Patreon. We're not on there. though.
www.
One day, folks, maybe.
Yeah, you know,
Maybe.
we don't know what the future's going to
Listen,
hold for us.
If you want to give us money, I'm not going to say no.
I can drop my Venmo. I have Cash App. I have Apple Pay. If you want to support us in that way, just let us know.
But if you want anything in return, I don't really. I mean,
We don't have anything set up at this very moment. We'll see if we end up going into a season 2. I feel like then maybe we can actually discuss it in like real terms, because it was literally just pretty much like a running joke for season 1.
Yeah.
It was my an actual answer. If you want us to have a Patreon, tell everyone you know that this show exists, so
Yeah.
then they all check it out, and then we
Yes.
have more people that make more sense for there
We
to be a
want to
Patreon.
get a lot of $3
existing.
a month.
Yes, got to be worth it. Got to be worth it for me, or no deal.
Yeah.
That's a reference that a few of you will get, and to you, I say you're welcome.
The next one. It is, what's something you hate that everyone else loves? Watermelon.
She knew.
everybody loves watermelon, and I'm sorry. It tastes like, this is going to sound like, of course, it's watered down. Like, there's not enough flavor to it. Like, it tastes
I don't like watermelon, so I
as
agree.
I'm sitting here drinking LaCroix. This was here already. I did not choose this because there was something better.
What is something I hate that everyone else loves? Is alcohol a fair answer?
Yeah.
That's
I've-
definitely a
I've
fair answer.
never-
Not everybody loves it, but I feel like it's
yeah,
definitely
it's
a...
way more
It's
of like
societally
Societal.
loved, I
Yeah,
feel.
yeah. Anything I've ever tasted, I'm like, this genuinely tastes terrible. So
Yeah.
that's an easy one.
I don't really know. I don't know. I'm thinking really
I was
hard.
going to say, it could
It's-
be a food. It could be like a musician. It could be like a movie. Is there a movie that everybody loves that you're like, no?
I just don't want to watch. This is going to get me. I don't care about La La Land.
I've never seen it, and I probably won't.
And I know people loved it. People went crazy for La La Land.
Yeah.
You like La La Land?
I do
Oh.
like La
Do you
La
have
Land.
a La La Land poster in your house?
I do not. I do own a Blu-ray copy of it. I like it.
And I love. Is it Ryan Gosling?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Emma Stone, but there was just something that too many people were trying to force me to watch
Yes.
it that it put a bad taste in my mouth.
You know what? That movie...
and I try not to be that person, but it was just hardcore.
That
when
movie
came out.
was very, like, well received, and so was A Star Is Born. Everybody was like, you have to watch this and cover this song, and it made me want to watch it so much less.
Yeah.
I think
That's fair.
that
I like
when
La La
things-
Land way better than Star is Born.
You've seen both?
I have seen both.
You're the only one of us. Well, have you seen A Star Is Born?
I've seen A Star Is Born, and it was fine, but it was another one where, like, I hate picking movies because I love to force people to watch stuff. I have the best taste. I know you've got a million things, but you have to watch this because you'll love this. I'm that person, but I really don't like when people do it to me.
Yeah,
Depending on
that's
what
fair.
it was, especially if it's something like, no shit, I'll get to La La Land at some point.
Yeah.
If I'm talking
know?
someone into a horror movie who's kind of unsure, I'm like, no, it's the greatest thing you've ever seen
Yeah.
in your life. And then the other people do that to me, I'm like, make it scary and I'll check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Make
That
La
makes
La
sense.
Land scary, and we'll watch it.
Who just asked that question?
That was me.
You? Okay. Speaking of movies, what are your favorite movies? Mine,
Can we do top 3?
top 3. In no order: Hereditary, The Shining,
Oh, those are good.
Interstellar.
Nice. This is so hard.
know.
Scream. I would probably change this. Like, something would come back to my head, and I'd be like, "Oh my god, no! Add that to the
Same,
list."
yeah.
But these are like the first 3 that popped in my head: Scream, Anastasia, and True Romance.
Okay. Again, in no particular order, and I know I already know, like, Titanic for sure, Pirates of the Caribbean, and then as my third one, like, whenever I have to get down to, like, my last choice, I'm like, oh, I can only pick one. Ooh, I would say maybe The Craft.
That's a good one.
Because I'm like, I want to say something spooky, but also like a cult classic, because those two things are so important. I'm like,
Yeah.
I have
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a laundry list of things I could put in there.
I would
but-
love to, put Heather's on there just because it's in my cult classic
Yeah.
favorite.
I almost put.
Yeah.
I wanted to put They Live in there. I wanted to put Grave Encounters in there. There's
There's
we-
a lot of movies.
maybe
that
we'll
I
do a
could-
whole episode in season 2 when we do that for sure about just our favorite movies.
Anyway,
we'll
what's
talk
your
about our favorite
option?
movies.
Yeah, this is the next one. Is Ross single? LOL, sorry, had to.
All right.
So this one, I think we can safely say was directed to you.
Yeah, are we sure? They could have been asking you guys.
That's
though.
so true. Oh, okay.
If you know.
Yes, Ross
Yeah.
is single.
He sure is.
Leah, that's your answer too.
That's my answer. Ross is single. Were you asking me like for permission?
No, Leah's gonna
Am I
say.
single?
Is that your final answer?
Well, hey, here's a fun surprise for everybody. What a cooler place to break it on than on this episode. Yeah, for sure. Super single. Yeah, very
I was
single.
like, what are you
Yeah.
about to say? You're gonna
I know,
lie
I
to the
said-
Wouldn't that be
people?
a fun twist?
That would be so fun.
That would be a hilarious
I think
twist.
we'd probably
I'd love
both
a
be like
bit.
simultaneously surprised, but also a little mad.
Probably-
this is how
probably
you
would.
Would I'd be like, you need to elaborate?
Yeah, no. Yes,
We're gonna,
very
we're
single,
gonna hit
folks.
pause here for a moment.
Yeah, we'll stop recording for a second.
Yes.
Yeah, the answer is yes to that one. Big ol' yes.
Is there a topic you guys haven't talked about that you want to? I feel like there were actually a laundry list of topics that we had in our phones, and we kind of picked the ones that we felt would be the most, like, I think well received as far as like for you guys. And I do think there are lots of things that, like, of course we would love to have covered.
Yeah, I feel like every time we talk about making the show, there's always like a new topic that kind of gets added. But yeah, I mean, that's fun fact. There is an entire other season's worth of topics that didn't make it into season 1 that will be talked about for season 2 when we do that.
Whether it's Ross sitting here by himself,
Whether it's me, it's just my new show, Honestly Ross. I talk about breakups and being single and a bunch of topics that my friends didn't want to talk with me about. So yeah, that's the one. So yeah, lots of topics that we have not yet covered. Your favorite part of your body is the next question. My hair. Maybe my hair. Yeah.
That's glad you like your
I
hair.
get a lot of compliments on my hair, and I feel like I've figured out, as we talked about earlier when I used to straighten it, I have figured out how to fully own my hair and how curly and wild it can be. So yeah, maybe that. I'll go with that.
I say my eyes because I love my eyeballs.
You have beautiful eyes,
Thanks.
Brittany. I feel like if I had to choose, I don't really know. Would it be super shallow of me to be like, my fucking abs?
No,
the fact that you have
definitely
abs.
not.
Because I feel like I worked really hard and I continue to work really hard to have
Yes.
them. So I feel like when I see them, I'm like, okay, girl.
You know,
Oh, yeah, hell yeah.
every time
doing
we're in
it.
a photo together, I'm like, fucking Leah's shredded. Damn.
I would say that's probably it. I feel like that's like, I'm always in a fucking crop top, guys.
Yeah, no,
It's
that's
no
fair.
secret.
If you
It's
have
my
abs,
favorite
yeah,
thing.
100%. Fair answer.
Ready?
Yep.
Worst hookup story.
Oh, man.
Okay.
Worst hookup story.
I don't know if I have one.
And silence falls over the episode.
I know. I'm just, you know.
I don't know if I have one specifically because I've only really been involved with people physically that I was also like in a pretty serious like either relationship or situationship with. Like I can't honestly say I've had like a one night stand.
This side of the table gets quieter.
I don't know if there's any that were like crazy bad. I think one would be when I was very young and I was very sad about my boyfriend that we had just broken up, but it was his decision. So I was sad. And he was hanging out with this really beautiful girl.
Oh no.
So I was like, what's a girl to do than to hang out with her ex-boyfriend, naturally. And, but I wasn't into him, but I was just being a little brat. And I stayed at his house. We didn't hook up, but he definitely like, that's why I was supposed to be there. And I just remember him like petting me, like trying to initiate something. And I was like,
Is that what
Oh
initiates
my
things?
gosh.
I don't know. That's what
Petting?
he tried. He was like rubbing my head and like trying to kiss me on the cheek. And I was like watching Family Guy.
Just like awkwardly.
And I know
like,
that is not what he like anticipated when I came over, but I don't know what I thought. I just knew that is,
You're just filling a void.
yeah. And I just was like,
you wanted the implication to be
clearly
there
in
for
my
the ex
brain,
to
in
be
my
like,
crazy little teenage brain. I was like, clearly that girl hates me, even though I'm sure like my ex was, you know, I was crazy. I was being crazy, but I was like, wow, if she can do that, then I can do this.
Yeah.
And so I'm just putting myself in this situation like to spite someone,
Yeah,
and
that
it
makes
just
sense.
I actually didn't. Yeah, which luckily I'm glad we didn't do anything, but I'll never forget being like, you can literally stop petting me.
Oh no.
If I were gonna turn around, I would have by now.
My worst hookup story is like this girl came over and I was petting her, trying to let her know that like I was
it
ready.
says y'all ever kiss. You guys said no.
I don't know if I have a particular one. There have definitely been times where I have also just like tried to fill the void, and then I just feel real weird the moment it's over, and I'm like, "What are you doing?"
And then the walk of shame. You gotta do the
And
walk
then
of shame.
yeah,
Where
and,
like you're like, well, this wasn't.
Yeah, and it just feels like weird, and because like when it hits me that I'm like, I don't even think I want to hang out with this girl.
Yeah.
Like that makes me feel very bad, and I don't, but I don't know.
Hey, what can we do?
Fun is fun, and fun happens, and as long as everybody is having fun, that's fine.
And it's all
Let that be
consensual.
a lesson
Yes.
to any of our listeners out there. As
Because
long as
I can
everyone's
tell
having
you
fun.
about a bad hookup because it wasn't consensual.
Oh,
But we
Those
won't
are
do
the
that.
worst
That's not for
ones.
this.
we will
Not for this one.
shelf that one.
All right. Share some sexy secret.
Okay, the spicy questions continue.
Man,
I
I don't
know
have a
if
lot
this-
of secrets.
I know a sexy one.
You know what? I got kind of drunk at a pure romance party recently, and I spent like $250. If that's a good enough secret
That's
for
a
you, I
pretty-
feel like that's like, I don't even think it's a secret necessarily.
It's
That's
one of
a-
those
I'm
guilty
not
pleasures
ashamed.
that
That's a-
you're
that's a
not
spicy
guilty about.
secret.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I truthfully, I don't know. I'm trying to think. What's a sexy secret or like a spicy secret? I have to be honest. I don't know if I have. What do you have?
I don't
Brittany?
have a spicy or sexy secret. I don't think.
Yeah, I don't
Nothing
know if
that
I-
like.
It's like when you're, well, I don't know because you're single, but I'm like, when you're married, there's not really any secretive stuff that's like
Yeah.
spicy that's out there.
I'm trying to think of like what examples of a sexy secret would be, and then I could be like, oh
That's
yeah,
where I'm like, what would be an example?
like a sexy secret, like as to like to right now or like.
Or like in the
In
past.
general,
Yeah.
I think just in general would probably be the way to go. But I have to be honest, I cannot think of an answer. I really don't know.
Yeah, I just can't think of anything that I would deem sexy that could come out of my mouth. That I'd be like, the people are gonna find this sexy. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Sexy
that's-
is
yeah.
as sexy does.
It's subjective.
Very
well,
true.
maybe we'll table that one.
Sexy secrets right now. Honestly, not same.
All right. It's your turn, Ross.
Other people can send us their sexy secrets. Give us some examples.
Yeah, if you want, if
Yeah,
you have
send us
sexy
your
secrets, you can anonymously send them to us, and we
Yeah.
can talk about your sexy secrets.
Yeah, we'll
because
throw up
we're
another-
not- we're apparently not very sexy or secretive.
We'll unsolve mysteries it, and we'll have
Yeah.
an anonymous. If you or any of your loved ones have a sexy secret you'd like to share with us, please.
We'll be like just a shadow of like ourselves, and you'll have like a thing on our voice,
yes,
filter on
yes,
our
yes,
voices.
yes. That's how we have to do it.
Yeah.
I walk around with a hot dog in my asshole every day.
I feel like that would be a sexy
Yeah.
secret. That's a good
That would be
example,
pretty. That would
Ross.
be. Hey, so anybody? Now that I've made that example, anybody? Hot dogs
Glizzy
and
in the
buttholes.
butt.
Glizzy. I was literally Jizzy for a glizzy. You know?
Oh my God, glizzy in the butt. Wow, that's another song on the Honestly Same compilation CD, right behind Leah doing the worm. That famous song.
You can find it on our Patreon.
It's on our Patreon right now. Download it. Get the exclusive song, Glizzy in the Butt. Speaking of things that I feel like were directed at all three of us, this next one for sure is. I have internet crushes on all three of you, but we've never met. Capitalized. LOL. Well, hey,
Thanks.
thanks for liking us.
Yeah, thanks for liking
We
us.
like you too.
And we want to know who you are. I know we said that.
It was,
It was
I know
anonymous, but now
put this
show your face.
Yeah, we put these anonymous links out here so people could drop things specifically like this that you weren't comfortable saying to our faces. But now we're going to demand that you show yourself.
I always
Every
wanna
single
know who
anonymous.
has a crush on me.
That's fair.
I know.
Who's this? I want to know the person who has a crush on all three of us.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah, it is.
That
fun.
is fun.
That's
Well,
a,
hey.
that's a sexy secret.
That
That
is
is.
your sexy secret
Yeah.
person. Thank you for having that. And
Absolutely.
thank you for having a crush on all three of us. All right, Brittany.
Last thing that made you cry. I just saw Taylor Swift this past weekend, and
Mm.
I cried a lot. And I've cried a lot since, literally just watching videos on my iPhone. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Mine's gonna be way more of a bummer than that because that's like
Mine
an
is-
exciting. Like,
mine's also gonna be a bummer.
thing.
Okay,
yeah.
well, I'm glad that I could start.
I had a very stressful experience a couple weeks ago. My mom has a super rare autoimmune disease called microscopic polyangiitis. It is, to put it very simply, where her blood vessels rupture and attack her organs. And so she had a scare. It was actually on her birthday. She had the shingles, and then that was acting up. It was a whole thing, and it took like a week for her to end up like in the right hospital with treatment, and that was very stressful. And I definitely was listening to that Sarah McLachlan song
Oh,
in the car.
my God.
Like,
that is
about
not
that
what you're supposed to do.
I know.
Nope.
But-
Mine is also a bit of a sad bummer. Just a handful of days ago, my dad had to put down one of our family dogs.
Oh,
unfortunately.
that's the worst ever.
Yeah, but I got to tell him bye the last time I was down
that's
there,
good.
so
That's
a
good.
plus.
That's
But yeah,
always very like difficult because I don't know. There's a whole thing about like I don't know. It's the innocence of a pet versus like a person.
Dogs should live forever,
Yes.
of course.
of course.
If
yes,
something happens
yes.
to like somebody in your life, you're like, I can at least think of probably one negative thing where like
Why
not
they deserved it.
No, not that. But I can think of one negative thing in my brain. But when it comes to like an animal, you're like, they were just the
Pure.
They
purest,
just didn't know. Yep.
sweetest souls, and they don't know what's happening. And I think
No.
that's why it makes it so hard. Is that you know that it's happening, and you know that they, of course, don't deserve.
Of course,
that,
of
so,
course. But it was in this case, it was for the best, for sure. He
Yes.
needed it to be done. But yeah, I got a solid few chunks of tears out throughout that day. So yeah. Is it me?
It's me.
You.
What is your spirit vegetable? You know what?
Is this also sad?
No, but
Oh.
it reminds me of VeggieTales.
Oh, is that gonna make
Yeah.
you cry?
No,
Oh.
it reminds me of my childhood where there was a lot of Christianity involved though.
I loved VeggieTales.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
it
didn't
was
grow up
like-
Christian, but I loved VeggieTales.
Yeah, it was just like
I didn't really watch VeggieTales. I'm aware of it
Yeah.
for sure.
Did you have cable? I didn't have cable, so it was just on.
it was
I had
kind of
cable.
a random thing that there were just like I don't know VHS tapes of or
Right,
whatever.
right.
I don't know if I had to choose a vegetable that represented me as a person. I don't know.
I would
Go
choose a
ahead.
tomato.
Yeah. Okay.
I would choose a potato because I like nearly every form it comes in.
Potato, tomato, and I don't know.
Avocado.
You guys ketchup.
Avocado.
I don't really like avocado as much as the next person. You know, I feel like that a lot of people are really into guac, and I'm just not.
Yeah,
think,
I don't love the hype of
I feel
avocados
like
as much as
I
everybody
feel
else.
like I would be an onion because I have lots of layers and I make people cry.
Like Shrek.
Yes, exactly, and that's exactly why.
I love that. So there you
love
go. Brittany's a tomato, I'm a potato, and Leah is an onion.
Yes.
Do you have any hidden talents? You know what? I think we've talked about this on the show a little bit.
Yeah.
I sing. That is a hidden talent that I keep hidden away. Potentially not for very much longer, but
Do it right
we'll see.
now.
Nope.
Yes.
No.
Then why did you say
No.
potentially for not very much longer?
I don't know. We'll find out.
He said that just so he could belt it out right after he said the sentence.
Potentially for not. Yeah. What if I was like, potentially right now I will reveal my.
Honestly, same the musical.
Also on the compilation CD, you can
Yes.
find my entire
I
first
can't wait
song.
to have a CD. My first CD.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's a very super hidden talent of mine that I don't do around anybody. So
Okay, Brittany.
I would like to think that I can like hidden talent sing, but that's just something that I will keep to myself forever.
is that a roundabout way of you telling me to do that?
No,
I don't know if I thought
absolutely
that
not.
I would maybe keep it to myself.
Yeah, so I can do that too, but I just keep it to myself. I don't actually think I have any time. The second I find out I can remotely do anything, I want attention for it immediately.
Yeah.
I mean,
feel
yeah,
like I feel
makes
like
sense.
that's like what other reason to have a talent, you know?
Fair.
I am very outward about my singing.
Yeah, that's not hidden.
I'm not hiding that shit at all.
You can
Oh,
do the worm.
I
Good.
used to do the worm very well. I can do this with my tongue.
I cannot do that. I can
Oh,
do the
I-
hot dog.
Look, we can all do that. Aw.
Oh,
Just the hot dog one.
I can also gleek on
just the
command.
glizzy.
I can glizzy. Quick, everybody glizzy to the camera.
I can gleek on command too. I can make.
I
Like,
can't gleek on command, but
I
I can
can't.
definitely gleek.
Oh. Man, whoever has that crush on all three of us right now is having a great time. You're really loving
You're
all of
welcome
it.
for that. I
It's
just
the
literally like
glizzies and
dribbled
spit.
on my chin.
Um,
fine. Oh.
was that me?
Yes.
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
You sure singing, remember?
Oh, yes. How could I forget?
Who's her best friend?
Okay. Who's her best friend?
Because it's you are instead of YOUR.
Who's her best friend?
Loser.
Okay. My very best friend in the Lord.
In the Lord's world is what she was going to say.
On God's green earth. Sorry. I cry every episode. It was bound to happen. Anyway, 2, 3, 4 best friend, 5. I have a lot of best friends. My childhood best friend, she's my soulmate. Her name's Laura, but also the people at this table, naturally, and my children and my partner. Like
That's safe. I feel like if I say anyone other than Nick that he might get offended, but he probably won't watch this.
He's gonna watch it with you.
Yeah, you're gonna be sitting with him. You're like, I know I didn't mention you, but
But that was implied.
Yeah. Everybody knows.
everybody just knows.
No, Nick is definitely like, of course, one of my best friends. My childhood best friends, I have 2 of them that have been there since literally elementary school. Their names are, well, 3 of them, Molly, Allie, and Jesse. We've been through elementary school, middle school, high school, college, and we've all stayed close and in contact. My friend Gemma that we met in college or in high school, and she came into the mix, and there's a lot of people in my life that like have held that title.
Yeah.
I think you guys are also like, I think there's different stages of life where I have different best friends. Like
Yeah.
you guys are
totally.
like at this stage in my life right now, like I would definitely consider you guys like 2 of my best friends. So I feel like that's a really difficult question to pick like one specific person.
Yeah.
And if I had to, I guess it would be Beans. My dog.
And if I
Very
had
fair.
to.
Because he's the most worthy probably of every
Yes.
fiber of love in my body. So
That's fair. I would say my answer would be you two sitting here at this table right now. Also, a fella named Josh out there is the brother that I never had. And also, I hope Winry and Ambrose are also
Yeah.
2 of my best friends.
I've never
I
met
would
them, but maybe
assume.
someday.
Absolutely 2 of my
Yeah.
best friends.
Yeah.
Let's hear it from the mother. What do you think? Are they?
I
my
would
best
say your family is what Winry would say.
She did say that. We're closer than
So-
friends.
That is wholesome as
We're family.
fuck.
Wow. That
Yeah.
was one of the top moments of my entire life.
The fact that she said that while you were standing there, that was brave.
But it was brave.
Because normally she can't even give you direct eye contact.
That's very true.
So that was really nice.
She did. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. So we're better than best friends. We're family, just like the Olive Garden slogan.
I'm not included in all of that, but it's okay.
You were included in my best
No,
friends.
you
Just
actually absolutely have to come over. And can you please dress as Elsa one day? Because
Oh.
Winry
Yes.
will never forget that. It would be a core memory.
Oh my gosh.
she'd lose her mind.
Yeah.
Well, now I know what must be done.
Yeah. Yeah. She will.
She
will
needs to
not
surpass you.
Yeah. She will not be my best friend
It's
that
now
day.
going to be
It'll
a contest.
Yes.
100%. It'll be
It
you.
took you years, and it will take me one day.
Exactly. Yes. 100%.
The next question is introvert or extrovert? This, I feel like, is a cop-out answer. I think I'm an extroverted introvert. And if you Google this, it is an actual thing. But I feel like I'm the kind of person that if it's like completely like walls down, I want to sit on my couch and I want to watch TV like with my dogs in my sweatpants and not leave or like associate with anyone. But I feel like a lot of the things that I do require extroverted parts of me. And I think that the reason I would consider myself to be an extroverted introvert is because certain social situations that might be very fun for other people can be very draining for me.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah, I feel like my answer is very similar, to be honest. I'm definitely a mixture of both. Like, there are days where I'm like, if I don't have to leave my house, I want everyone to cancel on me. But I can also identify that a lot of situations, I do love being the person who's like talking to everybody in the room and bringing the energy. I'm usually the most energizing or like energetic person, in a scenario most of the time. So like I have no problem doing that. I love doing that. But it's hard though, because like, even on those introverted days, I can also identify that I really get energized from other people, whether it's like a fun hangout, a simple conversation, whatever it is. So like, I don't know. Is that called like ambivert? Is that what I feel like I've heard somebody explain it that way before?
I don't know what the actual.
You've got
like,
introvert,
terminology is.
extrovert, and then ambivert is like both of them.
It's like amphibian sort of, like you can
Yeah.
be in the water and out of the
or
water.
ambidextrous is another thing.
I'm ambidextrous.
So is Zach. I am not.
Wow, we could high five with both our hands.
That is
Just
exactly
you
what-
two, no one else.
No one else can. No one
No
else
one else
can.
can play patty cake with me.
Yeah, I would say both. I'm both.
I would say same, but I love I love events and I love being in those situations, but I need so much time to recover. Like I need
Yes.
days to recover from something fun. I'm not going to have a bad time. I'm not going to like rather be home if it's something really fun, but I really need to like recharge on my own. And I wasn't like that before kids, but now like on my actual recharge time is like somewhere within like the next 3 days of me being done with something, not
Yeah.
like getting home and like shutting down like most people would be able
Right.
Fair.
I feel like 3 to 5 business days.
to. Genuinely.
I like shove a lot of social things into like the same weekends and things like that, and I almost get it where I'm like burn myself out completely, get all of it out there, and then I have like a week or two where I'm like, I'm not going to talk to anybody, I'm not going to answer any text messages, and I am dead to the world because I am playing Dreamlight
I
Valley
need someone to like
for the foreseeable
help
future.
figure out what the normal like, because I feel like everyone's kind of like that, and I don't
Yeah.
know if that's normal or if we just do more than people used to do or what, but
I think that there is probably a study about like recharge time when it comes to social situations. I don't know it personally right off the top of my head, but I'm sure it's out there and exists.
I also feel like there's probably something to the fact that everyone in the world is at our fingertips at all times.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're
like,
never really like
You're
taking
never
a break.
actually like
Alone.
there's FOMO and stuff, but like you're realistically like you can just go look at anybody doing anything at all times.
Yeah.
So even when you're at home alone, you're still like getting your fill of like, oh, I can toss a comment to this person,
Well, and
or I'm
everyone
looking at
can
this,
still,
you know.
you're always, as much as you can like reach anyone can reach you. So when
Yeah,
you're trying to
exactly.
recharge and then you're still like responding to things.
And it's hard to like be able to like close that wall off. Like literally right as we speak, I have my phone on do not disturb mode, and I know I have a text message from like a client sitting there waiting for me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I did not text her back, and she knows my phone is on do not disturb mode because you get that little
Yeah.
icon.
Right,
And
yeah.
I'm like, oh no, I hope she doesn't think I'm avoiding her. Like I have so much trouble separating myself from social stuff sometimes, but I know it's necessary.
Yeah.
Obviously in this setting, it's very necessary. Otherwise you'd hear blah, blah,
Right.
you know, all the time.
Yeah.
But I
because
think
we're so
it's-
popular.
Yeah,
Of course.
we have a lot of
Yeah.
friends. I have a
Lot of
lot
stuff
of
going
best
on.
friends.
You did say that.
But yeah, I feel like it's difficult to in today's day and age with everybody being so available or like within reach so easily. It is very hard to have time to yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
I feel like my recharge day is only like maybe a day. Like after like the shoot we had a couple like whatever weekend that was.
I thought you said shoe.
the
for a
shoe
second.
that we had.
Remember the
I was
shoe?
like, I don't think we
enjoyed?
wear the same size.
The shoot, the video production
Yes.
that we did. Like the day after that, I was like, oh, I don't want to do like anything today. But then
Yeah.
like halfway through that day, I was like, I wish I had something to do today.
So after
like, I
that
feel like
shoot,
my-
I don't know if you noticed, first day my energy was like, I am like being like center of attention, running around like a child, like just yelling stuff at the top of my lungs. And then the next day I literally was like, oh my God, I can't move.
Yeah.
Because my energy was spent on that first day of the shoot. And then the second day rolled around and I was like, oh my gosh,
That's fair.
there's people here.
Very fair. Yeah.
Is this me because I just took this?
I think you just did the introvert extrovert thing.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
I think. Are you religious? Is our next question. No, I'm not necessarily against anything. I'm open to the idea, but do I actively speak to anyone or anything?
Careful.
I know. Yeah, I'm trying to not immediately turn it into like some terrible joke that I could make. Yeah, do I? Not really. I'm not really religious. I'm open to. I don't know what like being more spiritual or like because I believe in like energy and like that sort of stuff. I don't know if that counts into any of this, but
I would
and
say that's
I
kind of a
believe like
spiritual thing, I
the
guess.
universe
Yeah.
can do things and happens, and if you certain energy you give, you can get back. But yeah, I'm not religious. I would say no. Does that mean I'm against anything? These tattoos might tell you otherwise, but I promise, no. But yeah, no for me.
Also no for me. Same thing. Like, definitely very spiritual and can like sense the energies of the world and things like that. But I'm not like, also trying to be careful. Living my life in any certain way, given any like context that I've been given throughout my life. Just kind of going off of a feeling.
This is like a very deep-seated thing in my life. I grew up Catholic, and I would say to ask if we are religious specifically is like, do I follow a religion, which is a very like specific constructed thing.
Yeah.
And at this point in my life, I would say, no, I am not religious. I think that I have beliefs that I could go on for many hours about. But I don't think that they fall specifically under one umbrella of like, specifically like maybe Christianity versus Buddhism versus like, I think there are things I take from a lot of different religions and a lot of different, even spiritual things that like I've experienced in my life. And I have kind of built my own beliefs and belief system around the experiences that I've had and the things that I have, through, you know, being a child that was raised in a very, I guess I would call it more of a strict religion, like a strict, like, you know, you kind of follow specific
Organized.
like creeds. Yeah, it's like an organized religion. I'd say that like from going from something that's very organized to my life now, I've experienced a lot of different aspects of religion that I've either like kept with me or I've decided like are not for me. So again, I could go very deep into it. I'm going to try to keep it as general as possible.
Don't
by
say
saying
it.
that way.
What?
Maybe next season.
We could have an episode all about our religious and spiritual beliefs. Yes.
What
Okay.
happens after we die?
Find out.
Whose location do you have? I have a few of my friends, mainly just girlies that have turned it on to like go on a date or something like that, and just a couple people because I'm nosy and I always want to know where they're at. But mainly just like close friends and Zach, so I can get the house in order when I can see he's almost home.
Leah?
Nick and I share each other's locations because it's also super easy. Like, have you ever been like out somewhere and you're like, oh, I'll just meet you there?
Yeah.
And then my husband is really bad at texting back. So I can literally just like check his location and meet him where he is. And he can see when I'm home or on my way home from somewhere if I'm not necessarily texting back. I also, at some point, I'm not sure if I still have my location that I'm sharing with my friend Serena. We went on a trip together and we shared them, and then I think we just never stopped. So technically, there might be another
Yeah, you
person
just gotta
out
like
there.
check on him like a little sim.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing today?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I think that's why I don't know is because I actually forget that I have those.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so when I saw this question come in, I forgot that
That
I
you
also
even could do that.
well no, that I have someone's location. I literally only have one person's location
Josh's.
because no. Take another guess.
Is it me?
You no.
Is it
I was
me,
like, is it
Jesus?
me? And I just don't actually know.
It's
because I
it's
don't keep-
no, it's no one at this table. It's funny because like I said, when this question came in, I was like, oh yeah, I do have literally still technically one person's location that I forgot that I had until this question popped up.
Is it
You
Laura's?
for sure know this person.
Laura's? Yeah,
That's
okay.
it. Yes,
I have her
still
location,
have.
too.
Hey, look at that. 2 people at this table have
Laura,
Laura's
can I have
location.
your
We know where you
location?
are.
Yeah, Laura, if you could just give Leah your location too.
We
She
all
feels
just
a
want to
little
check in on
excluded.
you.
We just want to make sure you're safe.
So yeah, that is the only person's location that I have.
Okay, let's see.
Is it you?
I think so. That was you, right? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
You should get a tattoo.
Do you think maybe
No.
Like an honestly same tattoo?
no? No.
Well, yeah. First off, I don't know who you think you're talking to. We're not. None of us here at this table are getting tattoos.
Yeah, never.
That's a sin.
But figuratively, if we were to imagine getting an honestly same tattoo, a matching tattoo, I would 1,000,000% do that.
Just like an HS or something.
Something
What about like an HS, but like the bubble letters?
Yeah.
that would be fun.
Yeah.
It would be fun if we all got like something together.
I would 1,000,000% do
And
that.
then we could like record it and put it on our channel.
a little
Exactly.
vlog.
Yes. Wow. Okay. Little person, you might have been asking this in
Can
a
I
funny
put
way.
Can I put it in my armpit? Like,
You can. Yeah.
my armpits just.
Wow.
HS.
This person might have been joking with us, but look what you turned this into.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe
now
we
we're-
will. I don't know if that's saying you should get a tattoo. Like, just you should get a tattoo. Like, thanks, I guess.
Or
maybe I will.
if you did want us to get
Like,
matching,
matching
honestly,
tattoos.
same tattoos, you spawn the idea,
Yeah.
and I 100% will do that literally whenever we want to do that. I'm down. Count me in.
Well, once everyone sends us money through Patreon.
Yeah.
then
Exactly. If you want us to get matching, honestly, same tattoos, send us money.
Send us some money.
So it's up to
Yeah.
you.
It would be nice.
Me?
yes.
I miss you. Money sign inside brackets name. So insert name. I miss you. Insert name. Let's all here. We'll do the thing again where we all will take as if they're talking to us.
Okay.
I'll go first. Hey, it's been a while since we chatted. I just want you to know I have never forgotten that summer we spent together at that camp where we dug all those holes in the middle of that desert with a few people that we made friends with.
Shia
And,
LaBeouf?
it was pretty difficult. If you have kept up with anybody, I'd love to know. Also, I think that guy who ate the sunflower seeds is dead now, so thankfully. But yeah, I've never forgot about you. I miss you too. And I hope you keep digging up those holes in your daily life. Yeah, miss you.
I don't
Brittany?
have one. I wish I did. I really, really, really wish I did.
Come on, you guys were just on Who's Life. You got the
I
improv
know.
things. You got the improv.
I could talk about how
juices.
Leah could definitely murder them.
Oh, yeah.
That's, well, that's
practice
true.
round.
That's fair.
I would just say thank you, and I miss you too.
Leah, do you miss this person?
I don't know who you are, but I probably miss you, think about you. You know,
I don't know who you are,
I'm
but I
like-
do think about you.
I bet, if you miss me, I probably miss you. We probably had a good time.
I also
you
want
know,
to know if
hanging
they
out
just
and-
mean like collectively, like they're like, you should get a tattoo group. I miss
Also,
you group.
I miss you group.
And
Yeah,
we're
maybe
like,
they
what
just
the
miss.
fuck do they
it's-
mean?
It's been a few weeks since season 1 wrapped up. Maybe they just miss the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that's it.
Well,
Maybe that could be it.
we miss each other
Yeah.
too.
Me-
I've
okay.
missed you guys.
Yeah.
It's
well,
always nice when we get together. I will say, it is always nice when we get together because it feels like a reunion, like literally every time.
Yeah.
it does. It is an
Yeah.
absolute blast. So, person who misses us, sorry you're not here.
Yeah.
But hey, we're kind of hanging out with you right now. That's the
Yeah.
whole point of the show.
All right. What are you doing?
This.
Currently, this is what I'm doing. And yeah, not much else. I guess if this is like a wrap
Like
up,
in
like has
life?
anything changed? Not too much. I'm just home with my babies for the summer and vibing, and I got a pool.
I thought you were going to say I
Wow.
got to poop.
I got a poop, so bye. That is what I'm doing.
I am here. I'm having a great time.
She's not being forced to do this podcast.
No one has a gun pointed
this.
at me.
Read the cue card.
You said that word wrong. There's not a whole lot that's different in my life right now. I just recently registered for the fall semester at SNHU for psychology.
Amazing.
I still have to finish like doing all the things to do like my FESPA and all of that. Hopefully August will bring brand new things for me, and that's pretty much all I got to say.
What am I doing? A lot of the things all the time, per usual. And also currently right now recording a new episode of Honestly Same, which you can like, follow, and subscribe all around the internet. Whatever platform you listen to this on, hit that follow or subscribe button right now. Leave us a rating and review. If you want to watch it in video form, go to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Ross Tyson. That's where they all are. That is what I'm doing right now, is making this show for you.
I love when his
You're
podcast
welcome.
voice
I
comes
know.
out.
Leah, to you.
Do you watch Game of Thrones? I don't. So this is one of those shows that everybody is always like, oh my God, you would love this show. My sister is obsessed with it to a point like if she had a daughter, she was going to name her Daenerys. She did not have a daughter. Just as, a spoiler.
It's
alert.
not delivery. It's Daenerys.
It's but I know a lot of people that really love it. I know a lot of people where it's like their favorite show, and it's I think also like a book series. So there are a lot of people that are like into the lore. It's a very deep thing. I told myself I was going to watch it when it was done airing because then I could binge it and I wouldn't have to wait for new episodes to come out.
Yeah.
And then the last episode came out and everyone was so upset that I was like, maybe I don't need to do this.
Yeah.
It is wild that the twist at the end is that they were dead the whole time. I also agree that that's a crazy twist to put at the end.
That's the Sixth Sense.
Oh, well, anyway. As you can tell, no, I did not watch Game of Thrones. I watched the first season. I enjoyed it. I liked it, but I just not enough to really. I started watching it when like a year before the final season started to
Yeah.
air, and I was like, okay, by the time I get through it, then I'll be able to check that out. I didn't dislike it. It just didn't catch me.
You just
like
didn't continue on.
no,
after
so
that?
I watched a season of it, and I didn't even get to like the Red Wedding, which sounds like a really cool episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't even get to see that part. So yeah, did not really watch Game of Thrones.
I did watch it and I did love it, but I could tell you hardly anything about it all of these years later. It's not something that I'll probably rewatch. I don't know, maybe I will, but I wasn't like, I definitely don't like remember the lore like other people do.
Yeah. See, I love
Yeah.
that fantasy shit. I'm the person, I'm going to deep dive into things. So,
That's literally me with Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
It's insufferable.
but it's like if I'm not convinced that I'm going to be like all about it in that way, part of me just doesn't want to even start to
Yeah.
commit to it. So I'm thinking probably someday. Probably someday.
Yeah,
it is a
maybe
really
someday.
good watch. It just didn't stick with me. And I do think it was just how
It's
they
on the
kind of
list.
ended it.
Yeah.
But I don't think the ending was like a make it or break it.
Right. Okay. Well, good to know.
Whose turn is it?
Me?
I just asked that. So it's Ross's turn.
Do you like anyone at the moment?
No.
It's your
Oh,
turn.
yeah, it is me. Yeah, but also no, technically. Yeah and no.
Yeah, I like a lot of people. And yeah.
Oh, I like a lot of people too.
I have crushes all the time. I develop crushes on drive-through people and baristas.
I definitely feel like I have crushes. Do I actually like somebody though? Like that's like, do I know somebody well enough to think that I like them?
Yeah,
for-
that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, no
There's
spicy
definitely-
reveal
There's
on this
definitely
one.
crushes, but
Yeah, just
Oh, of course.
crushes here and there.
I go to the Pancake House a lot. There's a girl at the Pancake House that I have a crush on.
Patty pancakes?
Anytime
Patty Mayonnaise.
that's who it is.
wow, Doug.
If you have red hair
Oh
and you're
my
female,
God.
then I probably like you. I don't need
Nice,
to
there
know
you
much
go.
else about
I
you.
have to dye my hair now.
Didn't you already try that? Didn't we talk about that earlier?
I did have red hair for a long time, actually.
Oh, so
Okay.
your answer is Brittany, secretly. That's who you...
So
oh,
that's
sorry.
going to be
Whoops.
our sexy secret.
Oh, okay, yes. We were answering
Yeah,
a couple
there we go,
questions
there
here at
we go.
once. Yeah.
Do you know about the Mandela effect? Wait, is it my turn?
It is your
Take this
turn.
and start reading questions.
It is your turn to ask a question, yes.
I do. And should we talk about the thing that like trips up the most? Like
yeah,
which
that's
one
a good idea.
trips
I
us
gotta,
up the most?
yeah.
There's a lot of them. The hands one gets me with the cornucopia. That there was never a cornucopia.
That one is wild.
Oh, wait, isn't that? I thought that was Fruit of the Loom.
Yep. It is Fruit of the Loom. I'm just making
Or is
stuff
it
up.
Hanes?
It's
I
Fruit
might
of the
be wrong.
Loom.
Okay.
It's Fruit of the Loom.
Yeah, no. Could instantly picture it, though, so knew what you were talking about.
I guess I have two. First one is the Berenstain Bears one because it's not
Yeah.
Berenstein, it's Berenstain. And I watched a lot of that as a kid and read those books a lot as a kid. And then the Oscar Mayer one because it's Mayer because
Yeah.
the song literally spells it. Like it's my baloney has a first name, it's Oscar. My baloney has a second name, it's Mayer. And when I was in high school and I was in show choir, part of our show
You
choir
sing about glizzies?
Yes, that's where I'm going with this. Part of our show choir thing that we did for our like big show is we had like a commercial break. So we literally
Oh,
just
that's
like sang.
great.
That's
we,
so fun.
Wow,
it was a lot
that's
of fun.
amazing.
So we had like a lot of like just the old school like theme songs for random like brands and stuff that we sang. And so I feel like I specifically like had to sing it so many times that I'm like, it can't be Mayer.
And it is.
And it is. So
That's- yeah.
that one's really kind of trips me up, I feel like.
Yeah, definitely know about the Mandela effect. All of the ones that we've already listed all trip me. I mean, there's also the Febreze one. Febreze is
I got
not
another
spelled.
one. And it's going to blow your mind.
The Stoff's hamburger helper mix or whatever isn't what it's like.
I thought it was Stouffer, but
That, but it's not that, or it is one of the two.
Interesting.
I can't remember. But yeah, what was
Yeah.
your other one?
Do you guys remember when like everyone was like Vin Diesel's bi, like Vin Diesel's gay? Did you
Oh, I
have
think
this?
that was,
Sorta,
I
yeah.
think that was like, I remember it being a meme.
For like in my childhood, I remember people being like when like the pacifier came out and like it was a little
Oh.
bit, and people would be like, "Did you know that he's bi?" And then I tried to Google it like probably like a year ago, and there's nothing
doesn't
on the
exist.
internet about
Yeah.
that ever. But I thought that was like almost like the rib thing, like everyone knew that.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay.
Like the Marilyn Manson
Yeah.
rib
Yeah,
thing.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah,
I
think
vaguely
it's
remember
just,
that.
yeah,
But
one of those random rumors that people were just like, "Did you know this?" And it wasn't
Just
ever like based on anything.
Snowballs, yes.
But I think one of the biggest ones is that everybody remembers that there was collectively remembers that there was a Sinbad genie movie and it
Yeah.
doesn't exist. I
Yeah.
feel like that
I've
one
seen
is
that,
like,
yeah.
how do so many people out there think that this existed? I actually, when I bring up the Mandela effect, when I'm like having a conversation with somebody and I say, that's usually the one that I go to because I'm like, that's like such a big one that people will literally go, no, that actually happened. And I'm like, no, you have to look it up because
Right.
I promise I'm about to just blow your mind
no,
right
sweetie.
now. Yeah.
sit down. Sit down.
I'm really
Go ahead and Google
sorry.
it. Yeah.
One thing you can't survive without. I feel like we had like a non-negotiable where I said my round
your
brush
wand.
blow dryer.
We did talk about that. Yeah.
But if I'm gonna say something different besides that, just to like, not make it the same answer that I had the last time, I would say, I don't really know.
Do you know?
I feel like maybe like black hair dye as a whole. Just
As a
like
whole,
if I
yeah.
couldn't have my hair this color, I don't know who I would be other than maybe red haired for Britney
I
specifically.
love that.
Of course. Of course.
Listen, this also works. So
Don't go change it.
I don't know. One thing I can't survive without. Does the answer like solid human connection
Yeah.
work? Because that is
yeah.
literally, I think we've talked about this in season 1. Like, I've identified something that literally will get me out of a depressive funk, or at least help, is literally if I like hang out with somebody and have like a good conversation
Yeah.
or something. It's like that energy sort of thing. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe that, because I can't really think of anything else necessarily. I would say, yeah, having to have some sort of, not going too long without some like solid human interaction.
if I'm going something that's like not my children, because I think last time I said cereal, and I do stand by that. But I would say like my comfort shows.
Yeah, very
Probably,
important.
yeah, just a variation of like the cartoons. Like if they didn't exist, I really don't know what I would do to like dial down, like
Yeah.
to like bring myself back down.
Yeah.
Could I switch mine to Winry's friendship?
Yeah.
Could that be
That
my
would-
answer?
yeah.
One thing I cannot survive without.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that would be tough to survive without.
Yeah.
I feel like, could I say Nick cooking for me? Because
You also
I
would not
think I
survive.
literally would not survive
Yeah, literally would
without
not.
somebody to be there to feed me.
Is this me? Yes.
Yes.
How big of a nerd are you on a scale of 1 to 10? Probably, I would say I would put myself at like a solid 7, maybe. 7, maybe
fair.
leaning into 8 or something. I love pro wrestling. Like you've been talking about with T Swift.
Yeah.
Everything there is to know about pro wrestling, I know it.
Mm-hmm.
And then also horror movies. Everything there is to know about horror movies, I also know
Is
that.
that
Those are
stuff
two pretty-
nerdy though? Specifically, I guess. I guess it's
I
like
don't- yeah, I don't
nerding
know.
out about.
Yeah, that's
something.
what-
Yeah,
that's
that's
how
kind of
I'm
how I
taking
took
it.
it. It's like not necessarily a nerdy thing. Like oh, I don't even know what is nerdy anymore in 2023 necessarily. We talked about the guilty pleasures thing earlier. Not
This
really
is
mattering.
all combining into like
Yes,
one.
it really is. Yeah, I don't know. Probably somewhere in that like 6, 7, 8 range, somewhere in there. I don't know.
Yeah, I would say the same. I would say 6, 7, just because it's the same where I get very excited about things like cartoons and movies and stuff that most people are like, don't you have like a job, like a 9 to 5 or something else to like be discussing with me? And I'm like, you don't want to talk about Scooby-Doo? You know?
Yeah. That's it. Get me around anyone who also knows wrestling, and I will literally talk to that person 4 hours about everything.
I'm a solid 10, you guys. Like
Okay.
I'm not exaggerating. When I'm into something, I'm so into it. Like and if we're even going back to like the geeky side of nerdiness, if we want like traditional nerd, like I have to get allergy shots. I'm allergic to everything. I can't
That
go
is true.
outside. I'm constantly wheezing. But like Star Wars, I know it in and out.
Yep.
I feel like there's just so many things. Like I love reading and I love getting into like the lore of stuff. I can nerd out about hair stuff all day. Like get me into hair science talk and I won't shut up. So I would say like I'm just completely confident in saying I'm 100% a 10 out of 10 nerd.
That is fair.
Yeah.
That is very fair.
Now all I want to do is talk about Taylor Swift. I'm like, who, where? It's like a calling. Have you ever been fired from a job? I've been fired from a couple jobs. One of my first jobs was Plato's Closet, and Laura had to fire me. She was my boss.
Oh, see, that's awkward.
But I just kind of I wanted to be fired. I didn't want to quit because I'm too nice to like quit.
Oh, so
I was like, can I just not come in and you can like fill out my paperwork? And she was like, I'm gonna cry. And I was like, it was nice to work for you. And then I got fired from a salon because I requested a day off and the receptionist didn't mark me. We make our own schedules. And so then they put someone on my schedule that day because someone else had called off. They moved her off of her schedule onto my schedule because it looked like I would be there.
Right.
But I had the day off because I make my schedule. Mm-hmm. And they were like, if you don't come in and do this, you're fired. And I was 18. And I was like, that's crazy. You can pack my stuff up.
Damn, that sucks.
That's so crazy. I don't know why. Like those types of things where people like jobs make you feel like you can be replaced. And I'm sure I was immediately replaced, but you're also replaceable as a job.
Yeah.
Especially if that is like your
That's
attitude.
important to keep in mind too, because a lot of the time I feel like people don't realize how easily you will be replaced in a job aspect. And so it's like, I would always get caught up in like but I feel like they really need me. And like maybe they need your service in a way,
but
and
it has
your
nothing to do with you
effort and stuff. But realistically, like the world will keep on turning. If it's going to be something that is like better suited for you, quit the job.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I don't think I've ever been fired from a job. I definitely there have been things that were seasonal where like when the season ended, I was done, or like I've done nannying or babysitting jobs where like they only needed me for like the summer or something like that. And then it ended that way where it wasn't necessarily me being like, I want to be done with this. But I don't think there's ever been a situation where I was actually fired.
Yeah, nothing.
I'm sure there have been times where I came close because, being an irresponsible teenager, there were definitely times where the people I worked with at Hot Topic really stuck their neck out for me to make sure that I could still keep working there because I slept through my alarm and forgot to open the store. Thank you, Lisa. I love you so much.
Shout out to Lisa.
Shouts to Lisa.
And the whole 106 crew, honestly. You guys were just the best.
Memories.
Shout out to 106. Throw them up.
106. Throw them up.
10666.
Have I ever been fired from a job? Yes, one time. I got a job at a social media agency years ago, and I was very stoked. And to make a long story short, I went in and like immediately hit it off with like the owner pretty well because like that's my world is like creative and all this sort of stuff. So I was like tossing him all these ideas and all the stuff he could do with his clients, and he was like, I love all of this. Who didn't love all of it was his second in command, who I guess we didn't get along. I didn't know we didn't get along. But I was there for 2 weeks. And then one day I go into work after having like a day before been in like client meetings with like the owner, like
giving him all your,
like being like, hell yeah, this is awesome. And then he pulls me into his office with his second in command, and his demeanor was completely different than it was the day before. And he was like, hey, you're just, you're not fitting in here. You're just extremely disrespectful. And you just don't fit in. You're like, you don't respect women. You like literally threw that at me.
Was the second in command a woman?
She was.
Oh
and she was sitting there not saying anything. And he just like laid all this out. And I was like, oh, like, I'm so sorry. Like, I didn't know that I did anything. If I did anything, like, let me know what I'm like, literally, I'm just so sorry. I understand where you're coming from.
For her job.
Yes. And this is not just an assumption for the sake of the story, folks. I literally got this 100% confirmed to me a couple years later after the fact. So I got fired that day. And I was like, that feels like she just didn't really like me being there. And she made some stuff up of like, oh, he's like shitty to me and shitty to women, apparently. And so a couple years later at a party, I run into a friend of mine who I hadn't seen in a handful of years who happened to be her brother. And then he comes up to me, and the second thing he says to me after saying hello, blah, 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 he goes, dude, I cannot believe my sister fucked you out of that job. And I was like, what? And he was like, oh, dude, yeah, like, I don't know if you knew or not, but like, she literally told me because like she found out I knew you, and she said that like she just like didn't like you and like did everything she could to get you out of that job. And I was like,
What's her name?
oh, I genuinely don't remember her name. I really don't.
I feel like I've had situations where people tried to get me to leave a job before as well.
Oh,
but
yeah.
it wasn't like up to them. Like I used
Right,
to
yeah.
work for a company that my aunt or my uncle's girlfriend like co-owned, and there was this woman there who was manic, and so her highs were very high, her lows were very low. She could be very unkind to the people around her, and I had a hard time with it, and my aunt would ask about it, and I would usually lie because I didn't want to start stuff. And she eventually got to a point where she was like, you have to tell me what's going on. And so when I laid it all out for her, she brought it to that woman's attention, and then that woman started a bunch of rumors about
hate it. I
me.
hate it
She
so much.
started like just telling other people like, oh, she doesn't want to work here. She's this, and that, and whatever. And she directly told another girl that I worked with, she goes, how do you feel about Leah? And she goes, I like her. We're good friends. And she goes, well, she probably won't be here for very much longer.
Oh my God.
It's
And
so scary
so-
when people like have vendettas like
Yeah.
that.
But the silver lining of the story is that my aunt came to me and said, I'm starting to hear all this stuff about how you don't want to be here, about how X, Y, and Z. And I said, well, my friend Katie here told me that this person's trying to get me fired, and she will literally come in here and like testify basically. And so that woman ended up having to then work from home from then on because she was, again, I wasn't the only person that this stuff was happening to, but yeah, she was a very difficult person to work with. So,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
very weird when people, and yeah, that was my only experience with also being fired, was just somebody somehow making it work in their favor to get me out of there. But it's fun that I got it confirmed though. It wasn't just me
Yeah.
being like,
Yeah.
"Oh, there's no way, like that girl probably didn't like me." Like
Yeah.
literally someone would be like, "Oh yeah, no, that's my sister. She fucking hated you." Like, and I'm like, "Oh,
that
okay, at
is
least I have an
so
answer."
Yeah.
Wild. that-
Whose turn is
Is
it
it
for the
me?
next question?
I think it's me.
You go. I think it's probably.
I actually have no idea.
Wait.
We just
you
did.
You just did it actually.
have you ever
got,
been fired from a job? Yeah, I did go first.
So this
Yeah.
is you.
It's you.
Oh,
Okay.
What's in your Spotify Wrapped? I could not tell you. I actually have no idea. Can I go in there from
No,
here?
it's
I don't
like-
No,
it's
you
an
gotta
app.
I
like
think
get
it's
it.
like
get
at the
it.
year end of stuff. It was probably my just Spotify playlist in general. I have like an everything playlist, and then I have a couple more specific ones. It's probably a lot of just everything. I feel like my most played artist is usually probably Christina Aguilera. I feel like my albums that I've had on repeat are like just, I don't know, the most random stuff. I get really tied into stuff. I think this year my Wrapped will probably be mostly Lizzo,
Love
if
it.
I had to guess.
Mine's
So-
also probably, well, not probably. I have done the Wrapped things the last couple of years. Mine's usually a mixture of like a handful of different things, like 1975, The Night Game, The Devil Wears Prada, Bring Me the Horizon, like all over the place. But I can tell you for a factual statement that my top artist for the last 2 years has indeed been Limp Bizkit. So
Oh, yeah.
That's where all
has
your
been-
energy comes from. That's the secret sauce.
That has been my Spotify Wrapped.
Oh my gosh.
Does anyone want to guess who my top Spotify person
T-
is?
There's
fucking
no way it's Taylor
Swift.
Swift.
I'm a girl's girl. It's Taylor Swift, Sabrina Carpenter, Peach PRC, Girl in Red, Baby Girl. A lot of girls. I love girly pop, and I love like heartbreak
Yes.
ballads. And we talked about this on other ones, but lots of like soundtrack stuff too.
Yeah, I was gonna say a lot of soundtrack stuff for me for sure, but I think like, I don't know, mine's just like a hodgepodge. Whenever the Wrapped comes around, it's probably like, hey, you listened to this one song on repeat for probably 3 hours during that drive that you took that one time.
That's
Yeah.
me every time I get in my car.
Totally.
yeah.
yeah.
And so I'm by myself. I'm gonna listen to that song for 3 hours straight if I want to.
I always
so-
think about that when I'm in a phase of like, I love this song more than anything else. I'm like,
Yes.
and this made it on my Spotify Wrapped. I
Yeah.
might
Yeah.
not even listen to it 4 months from now, but I
Yes.
know it made it onto
It
my
will
Wrapped
be on there.
because of this
Absolutely.
3-month period.
Absolutely.
Um,
Troye Sivan Sivan, Easy. The song is Easy by Troye Sivan, and that one was like one of those songs where it was just like, you played this like, and God only knows how many times it was, but it was a lot. And they were like, you played this song this many times this year. And I was like,
Sure did.
yep, I sure
recall.
did.
I recall that. Yes, I did indeed. Thank you, Spotify.
I was there.
Is it me for the last question?
It is.
This is our final question in the list here, and it is personality or looks more important to you?
In regards to what?
Yeah, that's so true.
Well, I would assume
Like for a photo shoot? Or like, I
I only have pretty friends.
Aw.
oh, hear that? If you're not her friend, you're fucking ugly.
It's true.
I guess I took this in a relationship sense, like a partner
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
But personality is definitely more important. But I'm not gonna pretend like looks aren't.
Don't matter.
Looks don't. Yeah, they definitely do matter. But I would say more than anything, I'm leaning into personality for sure.
Well, because somebody could be a beautiful human on the outside, but their like inside could completely
Yeah,
like
no.
be
And that
like
changes
a
it.
game-changing like deal breaker.
And I love that though sometimes because it just like balances the scales.
Yes,
I
but
love
then
That's fair.
I could meet somebody where like maybe like chemistry-wise, I'm not like wow, like there's a spark of like I have a crush on this person right away, but their personality stands out in a way where I'm just like, oh, like I'm pleasantly surprised by how much I like you, and I know that that's
Yeah.
probably a shallow thing to say, but it happens more often than not that I am interested in somebody's personality in a way that I didn't expect to be versus like when I meet somebody that's attractive and also like a giant like dill hole.
Yeah, for sure.
So-
looks have some importance, but it's not the. Yeah, I would say if I'm choosing one, it's personality.
Like if I'm like picking a sperm donor, then like maybe looks, you know. But
I guess.
I guess I don't want them to be a psychopath either.
Yeah, a hot psychopath as your sperm donor.
Oh, she's sweet but a psycho.
Sweet
You're not
pot-
repping me in with that one.
sweet potato psycho.
See, it's a rewind. We're doing season
A little
one.
brown, yeah.
Very good.
Sweet potatoes are what
Brown
color?
on the outside,
Aren't
orange on
they?
the inside.
Holy shit, you guys! We're bringing this all full circle. Oh my god! Because there was Leah. She was doing the worm.
Just smacked her kneecap
Off
on the ground.
Where did it go? Over to the side. Now she's going for a wheelchair ride on the ocean.
On the ocean.
Ocean
On
is
the
big
ocean.
and ocean is scary.
Oh, shit's scary.
Ocean scary.
Yes, incredible. Well, now we've done all the callbacks and we've also completed all the questions and
Yes.
comments. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, it was.
I want to do that again. Like, I hope that people.
That's a wrap.
All right,
no,
well,
no.
grab your keys.
I hope that we, we keep doing the show. I
Hit
guess
that
is
button.
is the first part.
I hit that button.
But I mean, guys, if you just want to come back and do another